everyone, and welcome to another very exciting episode here on the MIgardener channel. I am so excited for this episode. This will be the most exciting episode of 2017, at least I hope. Now, we get asked all the time on this channel, Luke, how old is too old when I'm sprouting seed? And the thing is that seeds do lose their germination rates over time. However, if they're kept in a cool, dark, and dry environment, their seed the viability of the seeds will go down far less. And so oftentimes you'll find that archaeologists will have found a sealed clay pot in a cave. These are such ideal conditions. They'll sprout the seeds, and in fact, I can't remember the university, but someone will quote me on it. I think it might have been like the University of Missouri, but I'm not totally sure. They found 700-year-old squash seeds, brought them back. It was an extinct variety, and wow, it made amazing headlines. Now, it will not be that amazing, but it will be very amazing because we are going to be sprouting 80-year-old seed. The seeds in this box are from 1930. So they are in this box, and why they are in this box is because Cindy and I went out on a mission. We basically said, you know what, we want to find the oldest seed possible. And we looked over on Amazon and eBay, and everyone is selling the vintage lithograph seed packets, but there's no seed in them. You have to be very careful about that. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to find ones with seed, obviously, so we could germinate them. And so we came across a gentleman that is selling well, let's just open it up and you can see what he was selling. So basically, while we're opening this up, in short, we didn't want to find any seed. We didn't want to find, seed from the 1970s. You can pretty much go just about anywhere and find seed from the 1970s and 1980s, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, that's very cool, but it's not as I guess important as the 1930s, and I'll get to why in a second. So let's come in close, check out what we got here, and then I'll explain why we wanted to go so old. So it's really cool, and it's very important to us, at least. All right, we have not yet opened this at all, so what you're seeing is what we're seeing for the first time. It's packaged real nicely. Save that for something. So this is a shadow box that was put together and assembled in the 1930s that was hung at the Lancaster County Seed Company headquarters. So this actually was hung on their wall when you walked into their headquarters, and this was in an antique shop on Etsy that we were able to buy, and this was a very, very hefty price for this, by the way, but we're only concerned with the seeds inside. So now we got to take this apart. Here are the seeds. So we're going to be trying to sprout white icicle radish, Grand Rapids lettuce, early red globe beets, and giant crimson tomato. Now, if you know anything about giant crimson tomato, they aren't in existence anymore. So I've taken off all the backing, or most of the backing, and now I need to remove these, the hanging hardware, because it's actually screwed into this board here. I do feel bad dismantling this, except for the fact I also don't feel that bad because what's inside of it is so remarkable that I'm trying to not destroy it because I'm sure we'll be able to find a use for it, but the seeds inside are my #1 priority. You ready? There we go. That's a good sign. So the first step to sprouting old seed, and we haven't even opened these up yet, so I'm not sure what we're gonna get ourselves into, but the first step to sprouting old seed is you want to prepare a sugar water solution to soak them in for 24 hours. The thing with old seed is that they will sprout, but they take quite a bit of coaxing. You want as sterile as humanly possible. So you want everything to be sterile as humanly possible. So I've washed my hands with soap water just before I've done this, before I touch the seeds, and I will not actually be coming in contact with the seeds. There's mold spores everywhere. So everything that I have here has been sanitized with isopropyl alcohol, and that's basically just rubbing alcohol, so it kills any bacteria or mold spores, because mold spores will be your biggest nemesis. So the next thing I have here is some sugar water. This is just filtered water, so there's no chlorine anything in this, so you need it to be free of chlorine. So I have filtered water with so this is 1 cup of water to a teaspoon of sugar, and that's going to have a sugar water solution that's going to jumpstart the seed starting process. Now what you can do is you can soak them for an additional 4 to 5 hours in a hydrogen peroxide solution. But I find that because, so you might want to if you have old seed, but because they've been in a sealed environment, these seeds have been in their sealed case for as long as, they're dry. There's no mold or mildew. There's no wet spots. They're in great condition. So because of that, I don't want to risk damaging the seed, because the hydrogen peroxide can strip some of the seed coating away. And I would rather have them in this state just soaking in the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour them into the sugar water solution that we're going to soak them in. Which one should we open up first? I think we'll leave the tomato for last. So remember, I have to be very careful not to damage these. So I think we're going to try the lettuce first. Oh man, I am shaking. The suspense. I mean, for a seed saver and enthusiast like myself, this is exciting. Wow, I'm definitely gonna save the seed packets too. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. So this is amazing. Look at this. Wow, this is beautiful. So you can see here, these are the real deal right here. 1929 and sold in 1930, making them 87 years old. Wow. Oh my gosh. So they do have kind of an adhesive strip on there, but there we go. Oh my goodness. Oh shoot, I want to pour them out. That was so scary. So basically, well, you can see in there, the seeds are in there. And we're gonna put, oh man, should we pour them all in? Let's do them all. Have a better chance of germinating. This is a Hail Mary here. We're gonna throw a Hail Mary. So there's the lettuce. The lettuce is in, and I'm just going to gently soak them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then take this sterilized lid, put that on there. That way there's nothing coming in contact. So since there are seeds beginning to sink down to the bottom, it's a sign that there is some weight still left in the seed. The ones that are floating, there are some beginning to sink, quite a few actually, but we'll have to wait to see how many float back up to the top, because the ones that float to the top are totally inviable. The ones that sink have the best chance of germinating. So that'll kind of rule out right away how many we're working with here. I think we're going to do the white icicle radish next. And like I said, I mean, these are varieties. You know, see, I'm gonna get this in the comments. You know, what's so exciting about growing a white icicle radish when I can go to your store and buy white icicle radish seeds? The difference is the fact that through many years of cross-pollinating, cross-contamination with pollen, even just growing the same variety over and over again through inbreeding, you can have mutations that will end up vastly different in flavor, in size, in productivity. I mean, these are 87-year-old genetics. So, I mean, this is like opening up a time capsule, an 87-year-old time capsule. This is unbelievable. Again, oh, that looks good. The fact that these were in sealed, you could not have picked, by the way, you could not have picked a better circumstance with these being in a sealed glass, in a sealed glass shadow box was one of the best things. I mean, I can't even, you will not get that lucky if you look for seed. This was, we had to look for almost a whole day. I'm gonna dump all the seed in again. Just give us the best chance of germination. So next we're going to do the early red globe beet. And there they are. So cool. You don't see seed packets like you used to. Wow. I wonder if we could still take them up on their guarantee here. All right, there's the beet seed. Oh, Lordy, I'm gonna have to be really careful. I just saw a tomato seed pop out. So there's a rip in this packet here. I'm gonna have to tip it back. I have to tip it back because there's a little rip right there and a tomato seed just popped out. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to save that. That's in the water there. So I had to touch that one, but luckily I can hear quite a few tomato seeds in here. Wow, there's a lot of seed in this. So I'm gonna have to, oh boy, how am I gonna open this one? I'm gonna have to open it from this side because of the tear here. You see there, I'm not sure if you can see that. Yeah, there's a tear right there. And I don't want any seed falling out, so I have to open up from the bottom, which is fine. Wow, there's a lot of seed in there. Holy smokes. So do we start them all? Do we start them all? Oh man. I mean, again, we started all of these ones, but this is, I mean, this is a, oh man, now I'm conflicted. Let me know in the comments box below what you want. I'm gonna start half now. Let me know if you want me to start the other half. Okay, it's about half. Okay, so we still have about half this packet left. Let me know if you want to start the rest. And so we are going to be, oops, dropped just a few there. So, all right. So we're gonna put these in just a dark location that's room temperature, nothing too major in warmth or cold. Just about 70 degrees is fine. Because what we want to do is we just want to gradually bring them out of dormancy. Any type of shock is really going to harm them. So you want to do it as gradually as possible. So we're going to just throw them in our pantry, which is dark and warm, and we'll follow up in 24 hours. So there you go. There is the end of part 1 to this amazing seed starting journey. I am so excited, and we definitely are excited for what is to come if we can get anything to sprout. Now again, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. We are not sure if anything is going to sprout. These are 87-year-old seed, and so I have no clue, but that's part of the fun. But if we can get them to sprout, the next thing is going to be getting them to grow to maturity, and that's going to be awesome. That way we can, get them to put out fruit. We're going to harvest the seed, and that way we can share the seed with all of you to really share this amazing genetic diversity out there that has not been seen for 87 years. So again, I think this is really important also to drive home that this can be applied to your seed. We want to make this kind of a practical video as well, in the sense that if you have old seed, or you find old seed in a box, or you come across old seed at a garage sale, get it, sprout it. And the reason why, and I have a reason behind my madness for why we're doing this, is to not only show that it's possible, but to show the importance of it. So through this entire series, what we're going to be driving home is the importance of saving seeds. Many, many years ago, around the 1920s, the industrialization of the farm began, where they began breeding varieties not for flavor or for color or uniqueness, but instead for consistency, production, and essentially the marketplace model. And so the supermarket model has always favored productivity, shelf life, and so you get very flavorless but very productive tomatoes. And what that does is it pushes away the need to grow these more unique heirloom varieties. And so what you've seen over the years, and certain agronomists, basically like farming scientists, have said that we have lost almost 90% of our genetic diversity when it comes to edible fruits and vegetables. Not plants in general, but 90% of edible fruits and vegetables, the genetics have been lost, simply lost. And when you look at what it means to be lost, it's gone. It's gone. It's not coming back. And so in these cases, you can bring some old heirlooms back, bring them back to life, and bring the genetics back, because these ones, the agronomists were not calculating on us finding, old seed from 87 years ago. They're saying, if none of this seed surfaces and we don't get this stuff to sprout, that is 90% lost forever. And, we've done videos on this about the repercussions of not saving seed. Even if it's a variety that's grown year after year after year, save seeds, because the genetic diversity changes from year to year, and you never know. You never know if something were to happen. It is so important to know how to save seeds. It's so important to have that genetic diversity, because if somewhere down the line we need this variety, let's say we need this early red glow beet, and we need it because some pest is attacking all of our other beet varieties, we can go back to this genetic diversity and say, look, let's try again, let's start again, and let's see. If you lose it, you have nothing to go back to. So that's why it's so important to keep these old varieties around. And that's why, as a seed saver like myself, someone that is really getting excited about saving seeds and promoting it more, and I think a lot of people in general are really excited about it. This is something that is going to be really fun. So make sure to share this video with your friends. Make sure to get the word out that we are doing something that I have certainly not seen outside of a university or university extension, and I am very, very excited for what is to come. So we will be posting an update tomorrow, and so it's Monday. We will be posting a video tomorrow, Tuesday. After these have soaked for 24 hours, we're going to put them into their sterile grow medium to get them to start sprouting seeds. After that, if any sprout, we'll move on to a part 3, which will be to actually move them into a sterile growing medium to actually begin growing. So very, very excited. I cannot wait, and hopefully we're gonna get something. All right, I'll catch you all later. Let me know what you think in the comments box below, and we'll see you later. Remember to grow big or go home. Bye. Emergency update. As you can see, these seeds have not yet moved in about 4 to 5 hours, which is good, because I almost made a fatal error. In my excitement and nervousness, I completely overlooked the fact when I was reading through the Master Gardener's notes for sprouting old seed, that they stated to use the sugar water solution for 24 hours for hard-bodied seed. Now, this is a very big error on my part, and so I'm glad I was able to catch it and correct it, because I was I was thinking about it, and I thought, there's something odd about that. This 24 hours seems too long. And so, yes, it was absolutely too long. So, absolutely caught it just in the nick of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to part 2, and we're going to move them on to their sterile mix, their sterile medium here for them to start sprouting. So this is part 2 that you get to see early, I guess. So we're going to wash off the seed, wash off the sugar mixture, because it's important to wash the sugar mixture off of the seeds, because sugar only a certain amount will absorb into the seed. And if too much absorbs into the seed, what will happen is it will actually inhibit water from entering the seed. So you want to make sure that you soak them just long enough to get some sugar into the seed, but not too much that it doesn't allow any more water to come in, because that will stop the germinating process. So it's a very fine line that you walk. So time is of the essence, so let's get cracking. All right, so just what I've done here is I've began moistening the sterile growing medium. You don't want it to be too wet, so it's important. And I've sterilized my hands, but we're going to touch these as little as possible. You basically want no excess water to be dripping off. So this is going to be perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to touch them anymore just because I see that I have enough water here, and if I tip them, nothing comes out. It's a good sign. Okay, so just kind of using different sizes here, which is totally fine. And we have a double washing station. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour the sugar water solution that they are into the basically into this sieve here. And as you can see, hopefully you can see, there is only some seeds that have still floating. These are the inviable ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrape these. You know what? I'm not even gonna risk it. I'm gonna dump them all in here. The ones that are sinking, essentially, are the ones that have absorbed the sugar water. They become heavy, and I'm going to now move them into the second bath. So they're now going to go into a clean water rinse, free of any chlorine. We want to wash that water off. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to take them and very gently move them to their sterile growing medium here. When I was reading over the notes, they said you want to go only 4 to 5 hours or until the seed sinks. Any longer, and it will cause the seed to absorb too much of the sugar water solution. So I'm going to, all right. Okay. Into the rinse here. So I'm going to do this with the rest of them, and I'm going to get back to you when they are all finished. All right, so now what I'm going to do is put on these sterilized lids here to make sure that no mold or bacteria or anything gets onto the seed. All right, there we go. So now we are ready to get growing, and I'm glad we caught that in the nick of time. So I will catch you all on the next episode as we progress. So as soon as we start to see some sprouts, if we see some sprouts, we'll let you know. Catch you in the next episode. Bye.